Hi, it's Emma Sowerby here from the Inclusion and Wellbeing Service, and I'm here to tell you a bit about what we do and how we can help you, your staff and your learners in your schools and across your clusters. Here you can see that I've pulled a selection of our shared local priorities from the Scottish Borders Education Improvement Plan. I've chosen areas that the Inclusion and Wellbeing Service can support you with. As you can see from the selection I've chosen, our work is particularly related to nurture, inclusion and supporting children's wellbeing. We aim to work in partnership with our schools and staff to support children to be well regulated, feel supported and connected so that they can participate as fully as they can in school life and go on to become well regulated, confident, successful and responsible adults. I've organised the rest of this presentation under the three headings you can see on the slide. These are the Inclusion and Wellbeing section of the portal, some of the latest work on nurturing approaches, and I'm taking this opportunity to share with you some of the professional learning supports we can offer. Moving on to the portal, this is our vision for our wee corner of this really comprehensive support space. We want it to be a resource for all staff in our schools, a one-stop shop where you can find the documents you need, where you know the resources have been checked and are quality, and where you can engage in reading, watching or listening connected to inclusion themes that are relevant to you at a time that is convenient for you. How to find the Inclusion and Wellbeing section on the portal. Start with the QR code or the web link that I've included in the PowerPoint here. You're going to click on SBC Includes, then click on our core practice and following that the Inclusion and Wellbeing Service logo. That will then give you the option of two pathways. You can go to the bilingual support area, which is where you'll find support materials, documents and links to places where you can find out more about how to support our growing multilingual communities across the borders, including those who've been displaced from their own countries or who are refugees or seeking asylum. These are organised under the headings New Arrivals, Early Years Beginners and Established Learners. You can also go to the Relational Approaches section, which is where you'll find the resources for children and young people linked and connected to nurturing approaches, inclusion in schools and restorative approaches. Remember that this is under development, so you will find some dead ends. Please keep checking back, or better still, let us know if you are looking for something specific and we'll see how we can help. We do have a bank of things waiting in the wings, but we would also welcome any suggestions, as we hope that like so much of the portal, it becomes a place you regularly revisit. And although we're curating this section, it is to be a part of everybody's toolkit. The Nurture Survey data we receive from most of our schools tells us that our parents, carers and our wider community don't know enough about Nurture yet. That's why it's been a priority of the Nurture Steering Group and why we developed the family learning materials linked to the Nurture principles. They're currently saved in the head teacher files in Teams, so if you're the school lead on nurture, inclusion or behaviour and haven't managed to access them yet, that's where they are. And if you work with or come into contact with parents, carers or the community through your working life, you might want to ask someone in your school or setting to help you to find out more. The parent carer leaflet is also in the head teacher folder and is really useful. I had a stall at the brilliant Ready to Learn family event at Langley Primary School recently, and the parent leaflet helped support and scaffold some really positive conversations with parents around understanding behaviours and supporting their children at home. We'll be getting these up on the portal soon too. The latest in our series of videos is out. Some of you may have already watched it, some of you may be about to or may be looking at it later in the year. The latest one is about Nurture Principle 3, Nurture is important for the development of well-being, and it has a focus not only on the well-being of our children and young people, but also on the well-being of us all and how important it is to get that right too. This is an addition to the work of the Nurture Steering Group and is based on good practice from another authority. With your support, I think it has the potential to help us all. The aim is to create an ideas and approaches resource bank to help us review and shore up the universal offer. That's what everyone in our schools needs to feel nurtured, supported and able to follow routines and expectations without causing disruption or distress to themselves or others, and the targeted work we can provide for those children who do experience higher levels of distress and show that through dysregulated or anxious behaviours. So I'm hoping you're all sitting there and have some thoughts about this, because it's not just a combination of the big strategic plans that help to support positive behaviours and well-being. It's also the small day-to-day things that sometimes go unnoticed that it would be great to capture. You might be a playground supervisor who knows just when to get the skipping ropes out because someone's looking isolated in the playground. The teacher with the snack drawer for the child who sometimes needs something to eat to help them feel more settled. You might be the janitor who, when you notice that Robbie, Fraser, Leah has come in upset because they've lost the football game, just happens to have some big heavy boxes that need to be moved to the other end of the building. Or of course you might also be the strategic lead in the school or cluster and be thinking, here's my list of what we do: Seasons for Growth, Mindfulness Monday, board games competitions as an alternative to sports day, and so on and so forth. Here are the 4 questions. So as you can see, not multiple pages or extensive answers needed here. It doesn't matter if you respond as a group, an individual, or in schools or as a cluster locality. It's not that kind of data we need from this. I'll take all your responses, pull them together, and where relevant, find some links to research or good examples for those of you who want to know more, and I'll ensure you can access them. I'm aiming to have this back to you for around about the school or cluster improvement planning time. So to summarise, if you spend a few minutes looking inwards on what each of you do to keep children regulated, then what you'll get back from me later this session is a chance to look outwards, because I'll give you an overview of what's happening across the borders in response to each of those questions and signpost where you can find out more. It's anonymous. I'd love it if you could contribute, and the 2 questions at the bottom, if you don't have an answer, you can leave them blank. Moving on to the Nurture Steering Group next steps. Firstly, our next video is in production and is based on the final principle we have to cover. That's Nurture Principle 4, Language as a Vital Means of Communication. The plan is for that to be out to you all for the May in-service. Secondly, based on our analysis of the data you've shared with us, we're going to look at how the staff induction process can be supported to ensure consistency of understanding of nurturing approaches for new members of the SBC team. And last but not least, we're also going to explore ways of linking our nurturing approaches to the How Good is Our School toolkit. That's the tool we use in schools to support our reflective self-evaluation processes, as well as some of the data we can gather to support our judgments. But we're always happy to hear your thoughts on what else would help you. We know that this year particularly, your commitment to improvement has been intense, and in some cases you've had less flexibility to engage in some of the inclusion offers you would have liked to. As a result, we've adapted the way we work again to allow our professional learning offers to be accessed more flexibly and more on demand, such as via the portal and including recorded elements. If you're sitting there as a school leader and have some thoughts about what you'd like support with, please get in touch. We work in very solution-focused ways and want to continue to build strong partnerships with you. For example, we were recently able to adapt our session length and delivery date to allow some of the staff at Hoyt High School to engage with an end-of-day session on all behaviour is communication. And we have some through the school day offers targeted at ANA staff who are sometimes less able to attend sessions out with the school day. Coming up, we're scheduling sessions on data aimed at school leaders. These will be shorter sessions looking at how you can track wellbeing data in both universal and targeted ways. One of the data gathering ways will be good practice around using the Glasgow Motivation and Wellbeing Profile, and this is possibly a good time to remind you that in the Scottish Borders Education Improvement Plan, one of the outcomes is for schools and clusters to be taking this forward. I've included here the contact details for the inclusion and wellbeing staff allocated to support in each of your clusters, but if you're still not sure who to get in touch with if you have any questions or want to find out more about anything, you can always get in touch with me. And finally, thank you so much for listening. If you're listening to this on the in-service day, I hope you're having a good day and I hope you have a great week and a brilliant term. Bye.